I'd like to call to order the Kankakee County Board meeting, April 14th, 2026 at 9 a.m. We'll start off with an invocation by Tinker Parker.
Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful and humble hearts. In the wake of the recent tornado, we ask for your continued healing over our community. Strengthen those who are rebuilding, comfort those who have suffered loss, and renew in all of us a spirit of hope and unity. We give thanks for our emergency responders and county employees who step forward with courage, skill, and compassion. Bless them for their service and continue to protect and guide them in all they do. We lift up our farmers as they prepare the land and plant the seeds that will sustain the community. Grant them favorable weather, safety in their labor, and an abundant harvest. Lord, we ask that you guide this county forward with wisdom, integrity, and discernment. Help them make decisions that serve the common good and reflect care for all those who call this place our home. May we move forward together with faith, resilience, and kindness. Amen.
Amen. Then we'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll start off with a roll call.
Mr. Hess. Dr. Polk.
Present.
Mr. Seroy. Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Parker. Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Dunnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Kirkstra. Mr. Hunter. Mr. Smith. Ms. Foster. Ms. Andrade. Mr. Ashcraft. Ms. Rittman-McEmmy. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Mr. Crutcher. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Present. We have a quorum. Next up, we have public comment. Public comment is 15 minutes, and then we could vote to extend it if we choose to. So the first under public comment would be LaDonna Russell. If you would like to come to the microphone. She was a tornado victim. You're all good.
Make this quick for public comment. As the chairman said, my name is LaDonna Russell, and I just wanted to come before the county board to publicly thank you for everything you did for all of us during the tornado. I live on, sorry, I'm gonna get emotional. I didn't when I wrote it, but I am now. I live on Elmwood Drive in Aroma Township. My neighborhood is called Oakwood Subdivision due to the massive oak trees throughout it. Unfortunately, we were ground zero for the tornado. All our beautiful oak trees didn't make it, and the amount of trees that fell on the road, properties, and all over cannot be put into words. Just saying, everyone that has come to our neighborhood, that it looks like a war zone. The majority of the footage on TV is my neighborhood and my road. Shoot, my brother who lives in Utah saw our house on national TV. My house is not livable. A huge oak tree fell through my house and destroyed it. Let's just say I have 4 walls standing of my house, but my majority of my roof was destroyed. During this time, the county, Aroma Township, and other municipalities really stepped up. I wasn't home at the time, and let's just say getting home to my family was over a 2-hour adventure from Bradley. Once I made it to my subdivision, there was already heavy equipment operators trying to clear our roads. They were back the next day to continue clearing our roads, and our streets were impassable due to all of our trees. The county clearly stepped up and communicated immediately through all the social media, radio ads, and everything, a plan of action as far as pickup, which was extremely helpful to us. We knew when everything had to be out at the street, by what type and what piles. The county and municipalities literally were working nonstop around the clock to help pick up the debris and help get our neighborhood drivable and somewhat cleaned up. Keyword, somewhat. For example, there would be one equipment operator working the machine to pick up the massive oak trees with a line of 5 to 6 dump trucks waiting for their load down the street, and this was continuously throughout the workday. This was a common occurrence for weeks. For that, I'm extremely grateful. I also want to thank Sheriff Downey and the Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office ensured our neighborhood was safe and actually posted a sheriff car at the entrance to our subdivision. I can't tell you how this truly helped, knowing that all the gawkers, trust me, there was a lot of gawkers, who wanted to see the damage who were kept out until we could recover, and we still are recovering. Not to mention the sheriff deputies went door to door after the event to ensure everyone was safe. Deputies continue to can control the area, and that we are extremely grateful. Knowing that people are looking out for us truly have helped during the first few weeks. I could go on and on about how the community really came together during the first couple weeks. That really truly touched us, but more importantly, it made a huge impact on our recovery and rebuilding efforts. Just a reminder, as we are rebuilding and recovery, there's still a continuing need for debris pickup as we continue to clean our yards and rebuild our homes. Don't know if it's a county thing or a township concern, but I'm basically asking the county township not to forget us as we move forward, because we are still digging out from this event. Just have to finish saying Kankakee County really came together to help us during our time of extreme need, and I just want to say for that we are extremely grateful. So thank you.
Thank you very, very much for that comment. That means a lot. Next, we have Angelina Gear with the KVVCB. If you'd like to come to the microphone.
Hi, good morning, everyone. That was hard to follow. I also live in Aroma Park, and I'll just say ditto to all of that. But I'm here to speak on something else. So good morning, Chairman and members of the County Board. My name is Angelina Gear, and I'm the Executive Director of Visit Kankakee County. I just want to take a moment to share my support for the intergovernmental agreement that's on your agenda today, and also to remind everyone in this room that I am here as a resource. If you ever have questions about what Visit Kankakee County does, how our funding works, or how tourism impacts your communities, I'm always happy to connect one-on-one and walk through that with you. Our goal is to support communities across the county, especially those that may or may not have their own tourism resources, by providing shared tools, data, and marketing that help bring visitors and spending into our area. Visitors don't see boundaries between our towns. They experience Kankakee County as a whole. And this agreement helps us continue telling that story and working together to bring more people and more economic impact into our communities. And I just want to say thank you for your continued support. It truly does make a difference with the work that we're able to do across the county. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Next up, we have Diana Baker, and she is coming to talk about zoning control.
Good morning, I'm Diana Baker, and I have emailed this to most of you guys, but if you haven't heard it, I'm going to read it aloud now. I ask everyone to consider what their true purpose on the Kankakee County Board really is. Are you here just to produce revenue, to spend money to make the county look and feel good aesthetically? Or are you here to represent the people and promote quality of life for your constituents? In case you didn't already know, the constituents are prioritize quality of life. Our corrupt governor is attempting to force counties to forego their own zoning laws, to push his solar and wind energy scam, and to force data centers and government multi-unit housing. I am asking you to do your job and stand strong to protect your constituents from Pritzker's corrupt decisions that will take away our natural resources, enrich Pritzker and his business cronies, and may ultimately take away our health, our jobs, and our freedom. I am asking you to be the leaders of Kankakee County and not the followers of Governor Pritzker. Protect our county by protecting our current zoning laws. If you can't stand up to the corruption of our governor, then what is the point of even having a county board? Why would you hand Pritzker the right to make all of the Kankakee County decisions? And pertaining to these rumors of local data centers, I hope you are all well aware of the dangers they bring to the towns in which they build. The billionaire owners and their lobbyists come in and blatantly lie about the impacts these data centers will have on the community. You can look this up yourself by seeing the problems surrounding existing data centers that include local rivers, streams, and lakes, as well as individual property wells being drained of water and household pressure dropping dramatically. Increasing numbers of reported cases of lung cancer, asthma attacks, and other breathing issues. Power grid failures, rolling blackouts, and skyrocketing utility costs. Extreme noise pollution, including a 24/7 vibrational hum. Huge losses of property values in homes near data centers. I would like you to ask yourself why data centers are even necessary, especially with the grotesque sizes in which they're being built. Is the AI on your computer not enough? Do you want to live in a digitally produced fake reality? Data centers are much more than just creating AI images on your phone or computer. Please realize data centers are not just putting out information, they are taking in all of our information. Information that will be stored and ultimately be used to surveil and control us. The data centers will also be controlling the robots they will be using to take our jobs and police us in the future. Data centers are literally the Skynet from the Terminator movies. Please keep us from ending up as slaves to the AI system of control by saying no. You may not realize most data centers will use millions, I said millions of gallons of water a day. The billionaire owners and their lobbyists are going to throw money at you and will lie to you about the water amounts and about a closed loop water system that in actuality puts out chemically tainted water blowback into our local sewer and water system and evaporates chemically tainted water, polluting the air for miles around data centers. Many towns with data centers have realized this lie too late, and permanent damage has been done to their environment and their health. The unions are getting paid to show up at your meetings posing and pretending as if data centers are the greatest thing to ever happen, when in actuality, union members only care about money and their jobs are only temporary. You'll be able to count the number of actual long-term data center employees on your fingers. So please don't fall for the job scam. And the number of jobs that will be lost to AI robots run by these data centers will cripple our local economy and is being done by design to ultimately destroy our freedom. Any amount of revenue promised to the county, paid to corrupt officials through backdoor deals for votes and non-disclosure agreements, and or paid to temporary union employees will do no good for any of you when we no longer have clean air, clean water, and farmland to grow our food on. These revenue resources will be worthless. Many data center towns are now realizing their mistakes too late. Every time you agree to add another flock camera, another solar farm, another wind farm, or a data center, please know you are selling away our irreplaceable natural resources and disintegrating our and your own family's quality of life. You're leading us closer to being digitally controlled, and you're giving our freedom away to big tech billionaires with God complexes. No amount of money can ever replace the loss of clean water, clean air, and farmland to grow food on. So please don't sell out Kankakee County. The people of Kankakee County don't need or want any of the problems that data centers, solar farms, and wind farms bring. They only take away our resources and our natural beauty while endangering our health and well-being and our freedom. Please represent your people and protect our county. Keep our local zoning laws intact and just say no to this attempted takeover by Pritzker and his billionaire cronies. Our freedom and our future survival depend on your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Tim Finnegan and his zoning as well.
Good morning, my name is Tim Finnegan. I'm just here to ask that the board votes no on all of these zoning changes. Keep the zoning where it is. Don't give Pritzker the opportunity to come in here and tell everyone in the villages, in the cities, and the towns that he can do whatever he wants. His concern is his wealth, and it's not the benefit of the citizens of Kankakee County or any town. Manteno is already in a big problem right now with the lithium-ion battery plant that they have forced on the town. No one's looking at the dangers of what has happened in the past 2.5 to 3 years. There has been 4 of those complexes that have started on fire. It takes them months to contain them. Morris had one. It took them 2.5 months to contain it. They evacuated for 16 miles around, and it's a mandatory evacuation. Where do people go? Especially older people. When you can't come back to your home for a month, who pays the bills? Because your gas, water, and electric is still being charged. So I ask the board members, don't allow any more new zoning. Don't allow Pritzker or the state of Illinois to govern your zoning. Thank you.
Thank you. And we need a motion and a second to extend public comment. First by Featherlink, second by Hunter, and then we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, nay. 1 nay. What is the? We're just 5 minutes.
You've got to decide that.
How many minutes? What is your motion? How many minutes? What is your motion for the minutes extended? How many minutes are you extended? You made the motion. All right, 5 minutes. Do you second? Do you second that, Hunter? We have 1 left. All right, second by Hunter. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. One nay. George, I can't read the last name, so if you would go on the mic and say your whole name, and his issue is zoning as well.
I'm not going to take 5 minutes. I just appreciate when Dee Dee was up here because she hit it right on the head. So I hope everybody paid attention what Dee Dee had to say and take it to heart. And do not let King Pritzker take over this county. We don't need any wind turbines. We don't need no solar panels. We don't need anything that's green charter. Look at Mantino, perfect example with that lithium battery plant coming in over there. It's turned out to be a horrible disaster. Nobody wants to move to Mantino. It's just a horrible thing that's happening there. So I just appreciate Dee Dee being up here, and she told you how it really is. And thank you very much.
Thank you. That is the end of public comment. There is no vacancy appointments and resignations, no presentations. Certificates of appreciation, Joe Ewers, he is not here, but he served 35 years in the probation department. I'm sure everyone knows who he is. He's a staple in the community. So if he's, and yes, he retired last Friday, so he's probably checked out. So if we could give him a round of applause if he's watching. Thank you for your time, dedication to the county. Like I said, you were a staple, and everyone pretty much knows who Joe is. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to proclamations. Dan, I'll have you read that in the record.
Proclamation of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, declaring April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
And then I'll do a motion to accept in a second, voice vote, and then I'll have him read the whole thing into the record. So can I have a motion? First by Long, second by Tinker, and then we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, and then Dan, I'll have you read that in the record.
Whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community problem that depends on involvement among people throughout the community. Whereas we all have a responsibility as individuals, neighbors, community members, and citizens of the County of Kankakee. And whereas safe and healthy childhoods produce confident and successful adults. And whereas child abuse and neglect often occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations without community resources and don't know how to cope. And whereas the majority of child abuse cases stem from situations and conditions that are preventable in an engaged and supportive community. And whereas child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure each family has the support they need in raising their children in a safe, nurturing environment. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created among social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Chairman Matthew Alexander Hildebrand, by virtue of the authority invested in me as County Board Chairman of Kankakee County, Illinois, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the communities in which we live.
Thank you, Dan. This one means a lot, so. Next up, we have I guess I'll read it, proclamation in support of Safe Boating Week, and we need a motion and a second to accept that. First by Carrico, second by Lowy, and then we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Now, if you read that one to the record as well.
Proclamation of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, in support of National Safe Boating Week. Whereas for more than 100 million Americans, recreational boating continues to be a popular pastime, and residents of Kankakee County enjoy significant access to waterways, including the Kankakee River. And whereas National Safe Boating Week is observed each year to raise awareness of safe boating practices before the start of the summer season. And whereas on average, approximately 650 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the United States, and 75% of these fatalities are caused by drowning. And whereas the vast majority of boating accidents are a result of human error or poor judgment, not equipment or environmental factors. And whereas a significant number of boaters who lose their lives by drowning each year would have survived had they been wearing a life jacket. Whereas the U.S. Coast Guard, the National Safe Boating Council, and federal, state, and local partners, including the County of Kankakee and Kankakee County Waterways Subcommittee, encourage all boaters to practice safe, responsible boating, including wearing life jackets, carrying proper safety equipment, taking boating safety courses, participating in vessel safety checks, and never operating a vessel while under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs. And whereas Kankakee County recognizes the importance of promoting safe boating practices to protect residents and visitors who enjoy the Kankakee River and surrounding waterways. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the County of Kankakee hereby recognizes May 16th through the 22nd, 2026 as National Safe Boating Week in Kankakee County, and encourages all residents to support safe boating practices and wear a life jacket at all times while on the water.
Thank you very much, and I invite Antonio Carrico to say a couple words. He is the head of the Waterways Committee.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Yes, as we approach boating safety season, education, prevention are key to helping our residents safely enjoy our waterways. Therefore, as an extension to what we're voting on today, a vessel safety check event will be offered on Saturday, May 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Beckman Park. And that is going to be offered by the U.S. Coast Guard Aux Division. And that is a free event, free vessel safety check, and also boating safety education. And that will be in partnership with the Waterways Advisory Subcommittee, the Waterways Committee, Kankakee County, and our partner agencies. I encourage all the board members to spread the word and have that out there. So for the 16th, we have a good outcome with the vessel safety check. And you have a flyer over there that you can take with you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much for bringing this to our attention. The next proclamation we're going to pull from the agenda, he's going to be here next month. He is not available, so we will move that one to the next month's meeting. So we'll move on to the proclamation extending the declaration of disaster emergency for Kankakee County. Can I have a motion to accept in a second? First by Marion, second by Llewellyn, and then we'll do a voice vote, and I'll have Dan read that in the record. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Dan, I'll have you read that in the record.
Proclamation of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, extending the declaration of disaster emergency for Kankakee County. Whereas on March 10th, 2026, a storm produced an EF3 tornado, damaging winds, record-sized hail, and torrential rainfall across a large portion of Kankakee County. The storm resulted in 1 fatality and millions of dollars of property damage. And whereas 20 ILCS 3305/11 allows for the declaration of a local disaster. And whereas on March 10th, 2026, a disaster was declared by the County Board Chairman. And whereas pursuant to 20 ILCS 3305/11, the County Board extended the disaster declaration for 30 days on March 24th, 2026. And whereas due to the devastation and ongoing efforts to aid residents, the disaster declaration should be extended. And whereas upon the recommendation of Director of Kankakee County Emergency Management Agency, the County Board Chairman hereby proclaims that a disaster emergency exists in Kankakee County due to the devastation caused by the March 10th, 2026 tornado. And whereas the Director of the Kankakee County Emergency Management Agency is ordered to proceed with all haste to bring said disaster emergency to a rapid conclusion for the best interest of the residents of Kankakee County pursuant to the Illinois Emergency Management Agency Act and the Kankakee County Emergency Management Agency Ordinance. And whereas all Kankakee County departments are directed to cooperate with the EMA and to provide such services and resources that may be needed to bring the disaster to a conclusion. And whereas this proclamation extends the disaster declaration for an additional 30 days beginning April 22nd, 2026, and is effective for 30 days unless extended again by the Kankakee County Board.
And the reason we're doing this is to just ensure that we could, any resources that we may possibly need over the next 30 days, well, it's going to extend the 20, I forget what you said, the 20, I want to make sure I get this right. 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So the 22nd, 30 days after that, that just makes sure any resources that we may possibly need, we will be able to, you know, call on and get those. And with that, I'm going to have DJ Jakayla come up from the Small Business Administration, and she's going to kind of explain, you know, the whole process. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you. And the microphone is yours.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, county officials, for this opportunity. I do want to express how sorry we all are, myself included, that your community has suffered this loss of life and property and damage. SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, has made this an agency declaration in order to provide Kankakee County as the primary county and its contiguous counties resources that are being made available to not only, as our name of our agency indicates, small businesses, but faith-based organizations, which are all private nonprofits, and one that isn't as known, which is homeowners and renters. In fact, the majority of our disaster recovery loans do in fact go to homeowners and renters in order to provide what is often needed under these circumstances, which is, it's old school these days, but something that I think we all value, one-on-one in-person opportunities. We have opened up 3 disaster loan outreach centers, which we call DLOCs, and one is actually right over my shoulder, if I'm pointing in the right direction, at the Railroad Depot. We have another that's actually in the Village Hall in Aroma Park, and a 3rd additional one in Bradley, which is operating out of a vacant space within the Northfield Square Mall that was provided. Those will be in operation Monday through Friday, as well as on Saturday, and I can provide the hours, through the 25th. There is a chance, but no promises, that could be extended. Since we opened the first one in Aroma Park on Friday, and then all the additional 2 on Saturday, I have witnessed myself a fairly steady stream of visitors to those, getting one-on-one service. I can't speak highly enough for our customer service representatives who are trained and work one-on-one, because everyone's situation is unique. And they're here to provide that opportunity. Obviously, with the deadline for physical damages as June 8th, that extends past when we'll have those open. There are ability to keep applying, but it then converts to an either applying online or calling our 800 number. So I highly encourage anyone who has a means to share the information that we do have that opportunity for that personalized one-on-one time right now. And the other part that I want to emphasize, in addition to the fact that often people don't know that homeowners and renters are eligible for homeowners for the physical damages, but homeowners and renters for the personal loss of their items up to $100,000, including their primary vehicle. All of our loans, whether it's small business or private nonprofits or homeowners, the interest does not accrue, nor are payments due for an entire 12 months, which is something that SBA does because the purpose and mission is to help a community recover. And that 12 months provides that, as I like to call it, time to breathe and recover. So that is what I had to share today, and if it's possible, I can answer questions.
Yeah. Any questions? Mr. Hunter, and then we'll go to Rosemary. All right, there we go.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. With the SBC loan, you said
SBA.
Personal items. I was wondering, we had a lot of hail damage to cars. And if your car was totaled out by your insurance agency, can you come and apply so that you would have money to purchase a new car or another
or
good
replace
used car? Yeah.
Again, everyone's situation is going to be unique. What isn't is it has to be the primary vehicle, not recreational vehicles. But yes, under our SBA disaster recovery and resiliency loans, individuals can apply and seek a loan that would allow them to replace that vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Hunter?
Let me be the first to thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. I just had some concern. When you speak in terms of SBA loans, it seems as though historically there's issues regarding red tape. Are you going to be cutting through and expediting some of that stuff? Because I have a municipal background, having been involved in municipal government for like 40 years, but that's an issue. That's one issue I want you to address. Additionally, what about those individuals who have physical disabilities and who may not be able to frequent those particular locations where you have? Is there a way that on-site home visits or wherever they're domiciled be able to address that? Additionally, last Thursday, had the opportunity to take Donna Miller, who is the second congressional candidate, to tour the area. She was really amazed. She saw all the stuff on TV, but it didn't really do justice in terms of actually being there, seeing, touching some of the historic damage that transpired. So additionally, the $25 million threshold, Could you explain that to the people who are not aware of that in terms of the FEMA assistance for the damages?
Okay, well, let me
That's a
see if-
mouthful, I know.
I know. Well, I'm a print journalist by original trade, so I scribbled some notes. So let's see if I can backtrack. Your first one was using the term red tape. I will probably, because of my print journalism background, probably be the first to not try to in any way defend a bureaucratic process. However, I did work in public service in K-12 education for a number of decades. And the red tape you're referring to really will be dependent upon each individual's situation and what they need to produce and supply in order to apply for and qualify for the loan. So I can never provide whether someone gets accepted or denied within what time frame, because everyone's submitting different paperwork for different values, different mortgages, all the different factors that go into play. What I recommend based on my experience is two things. One, patience with the process. It can unfortunately take longer for some individuals to get approved. The other is staying daily on top of your portal, because regardless of having our outreach centers open in the one-on-one, it is going to be portal based with SBA, and they may email and say, we need you to sign this document, and if someone doesn't go on for 2 or 3 days, it can bump their application out of the queue and they kind of go into a restart, if you will. That's not the right term, but so in terms of the red tape, that's the best I can explain, is that it is a process, and that process is going to have different lengths for different people with different circumstances. But part of the ownership is staying on top of that portal. Number two, let's see. I'm going to have to, I've never been asked that question, so I do appreciate that and have a lot of value in being able to support people who may have different abilities and ability to actually attend. So I'm going to have to get back to, I don't know who
If you get back to me, I can push it out
Thank
to
you.
everyone.
Yes, I will have Chairman push that information out. And then the other piece is I cannot speak to the intricacies of what went on, what was called the preliminary damage assessment. If those aren't familiar, I was actually not here yet. Another public affairs specialist came in my stead since I couldn't be transferred quick enough. I believe that was March 25th. That was when the determination for thresholds, and I think you're referring to whether it would be a presidential declaration, which would have involved FEMA, versus what is now an agency declaration, which is just SBA. And I'll put air quotes around just. Yes, we are providing low interest loans. I did provide the chairman with what's called our fact sheet, what I've been scribbling on here. And that has the table with the loan amounts on it as well. I can't really speak to the 25 million threshold because I'm not involved in that intricacy. I can see if my supervisor can provide me with information that I can again provide to the chairman. I just know that they have, you use the right term, thresholds that determine whether it's going to stay an SBA agency response based on the amount of damage or bump to that presidential, which would involve both our agency and FEMA. So I will see if I can find out what went on with the determination of it being an agency declaration.
My retort to your comments, be mindful of the fact that some of the individuals who were impacted adversely by the tornadoes, plural, that they may not be computer literate, they may not be ambulatory, and they may not have family members who can assist them in traveling to the mall or to the village hall or to the depot.
Okay.
So what other remedies do you have or avenues do you have to address that?
The other, and that would apply whether we have the DLOCs open, because some people do choose to do that as it is, and I don't want to misspeak, so that's why I'm referring to my sheet. We do have an 800 phone number, so they'd be able to call in. I have on my past declarations had individuals.
What is that number?
Oh, sure, of course. 1-800-659-2955, and that is our customer service center. And if you want me to say out loud, disaster customer service at sba.gov is the way to email that same phone number, but that's the email method. And then let's see, nope, those would be the two methods, is the email and the calling. To get that, what I can share is I've been personally involved with several times talking with survivors, and whether they have a grandchild or someone who can support them, even if it's on the phone call, being able to work with them to maintain their portal things and kind of help them think through. So I ask you as community members, if you have identified individuals who fit this gentleman's description of having different ability levels, is help them talk through if they have a sibling, if they have a child, if they have a grandchild, a family friend, someone who might be their advocate, and help them through. I served roughly in that capacity on a husband-wife team on a declaration who, as you shared, they use stronger words than red tape with me. And I sat in on one of their customer service calls to help myself understand and grow as a public affairs specialist. I can tell you that even though the flooding that they lost their home and their business occurred at the end of July of 2025, that was a very complicated home, business, economic injury, disaster loan. I'm proud to say that I got in touch with them because I've been following their story. They're on Facebook, and they started the tear down for their rebuild of their business and their home. So everything, they've gotten their funding. So
would it be possible for you to place this information on the respective websites for the local municipalities, additionally the county, additionally cable stations, Channel 4, additionally I would appreciate if you could go and tap into the local media, the Journal, do some PSAs.
So that's, I'm not going to interject, but that's kind of our job to do.
Well,
so
whatever.
Right.
That stuff needs to be done.
And we've done a good job. I don't want to discredit the sheriff's department or anyone. We've done a good job of pushing
Chairman,
it on.
with all due respect, you know.
No, I know.
We're not vilifying or discrediting anybody. I'm just saying there's some other ancillary things need to be done. Had we talked about, people with disabilities? No, we hadn't.
Right, and that was a great. I agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
A great question.
Yeah.
So,
we're in partnership here.
Of course.
That's all I'm saying.
And I'm deputize him. He'll make a great public affairs specialist. So if you want to join me in my work.
He is fantastic. He is fantastic.
Yes, we are reaching. I have another public affairs specialist who just started at 6:30 this morning. We're working on East Coast time. So she just started this morning, and we're doing that outreach. I have been provided with additional local media contacts that weren't in my contact list that I was provided. So I appreciate that information. But it's a partnership. Where I'm working. I'm working with the sheriff's office. They've been at the D-Lock since they opened on Friday and Saturday. So we are doing everything we can, sir. We're going to work as quickly as possible to make sure everyone is notified. And I do appreciate everything the county's done.
And when those questions are answered, we will definitely push those out, Steve. So.
All right.
All right. Any more questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to move on to the minutes of last meeting. March 10th, 2026 and March 24th of 2026. Can I have a motion to combine and approve those? First by Miller, second by Dunnell, and we'll do a voice vote on that. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. And then we have the Claims Committee report for February 2026. Dan, if you'd like to read those into the record.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, the clerk voucher record for the Claims Committee from February 1st, 2026 through February 28th, 2026. Total claims of $9,971,868.90.
And then is there a motion to approve in a second? First by Dunnell, second by Featherling. Any discussion on that? All right, roll call vote.
Mr. Hess. Dr. Polk.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy. Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Parker. Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Mr. Crutcher. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Tayden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. Next, we have the department reports. Dan, if you would read those into the record as well.
County Treasurer's Report for month ending February 28th, 2026 at the current tax account at Midland States Bank, ending balance of $143,235.92. Ending balance for the tax operating account at First American Bank, $106,389.65. The tax e-pay account at First American Bank, the ending balance of $91,460.40. Special fund sweep account at First American Bank, the ending balance of $19,166,856.26. The collector's monthly report for month ending February 28, 2026. Total cash in bank and investments of $19,507,942.23. County Recorder's monthly report for February 2026, disbursement fees paid to the county treasurer of $146,375.56. County Clerk's monthly report for February 2026, total of $44,659.08. Monthly Building Division report for January 2026, total permits of 38, total fees of $73,841. Monthly Building Division report for February 2026, total permits of 46, total fees of $14,897. Monthly resolution list for March 2026, total of the county of $1,540.16.
Thank you very much, Dan. And can we have a motion to combine and approve those? First by Dunnell, second by Tayden. Any questions? All right, voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Next up, we have the committee presentations and resolutions. Is there anything that needs to be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately? I'll let you guys look that over. Is there anything that needs to be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately? All right, Dan, I'll have you read those in the record. Or I guess first and second. I need a motion. Oh yeah, already did that. First by Hunter, second by Carrico, and then we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor, or roll call. There we go.
Mr. Hess. Aye. Dr. Polk.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy. Aye. Mrs. Weber. Aye. Mrs. Parker. Aye. Mr. Carrico. Aye. Mr. Featherling. Aye. Mr. Dunhill. Aye. Mr. Miller. Aye. Mr. Long. Aye. Mr. Hunter. Aye. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Aye. Mr. Marion. Aye. Mr. Lowry. Aye. Ms. Turner from Moments. Aye. Mr. Crutcher. Aye. Dr. Nims. Aye. Mr. Kerner. Aye. Mr. Llewellyn. Aye. Mr. Benoit. Aye. Mr. Tayden. Aye. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll have you read it in the record because I did that.
The reappointment of Alice Argellin to the Bourbonnais Fire Protection District Board. The reappointment of Paul Grieslak to the Bourbonnais Fire Protection District Board. The reappointment of Christine Kirscher to the Essex Township Fire Protection District Board, the reappointment of William Perkins to the Manteno Fire Protection District Board, the reappointment of Joey Bowd to the Greater Moments Fire Protection District Board, the reappointment of Troy Kaufman to the Limestone Township Fire Protection District Board, the reappointment of Susan Mosier to the Pilot Township Fire Protection District Board, the reappointment of John Scoffsman to the St. Anne Fire Protection District Board, the reappointment of David Hinderleiter to the Metro Board of Directors, reappointment of Steve Cody to the Kankakee County Board of Review, reappointment of Willie Ames to the Kankakee County Zoning Board of Appeals, the appointment of James White II to the Otto Township Fire Protection District, the appointment of Chad Hansen to the Minnie Creek Drainage District, and the appointment of Michael O'Brien to the Will Kankakee Regional Development Authority.
Thank you very much. Next up, we'll move to Planning, Zoning, and Agriculture. Dan, if you would like to read that into the record, and then Delbert's going to come to the front.
Resolution of the County Board regarding ZBA case 26-01, rezoning from A1 Agriculture to A2 Agriculture Estate in Section 34 of Sumner Township.
And then is there a motion to approve in a second? First by Dunnell, second by Long, and then we'll do a voice vote on that, and or actually explain it first, and then we'll end with the voice vote. Just
okay, Joanne, if you could go down one. All right. This is case 2601. It's a rezoning from A1 Agriculture to A2 Agricultural Estate. It's a 2.278 acre parcel with an existing house on it that they would like to divide out of the 40 acre tract so that they could sell the house separately. It's in Sumner Township at 8872 East 7000 North Road, owned by Nathan and Jill Provost. Zoning Board recommends approval 5-0.
Is there any questions for Delbert on that? All right, we already have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. I'll have you read the next one into the record as well.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois regarding ZBA case 26-02, request for a text amendment to Kankakee County Code of Ordinances in Chapter 121, Sections 3, 99, 146, 208, 209, 281, 295, and 297 regarding the siting, permitting, and regulation of renewable energy facilities as a result of the State of Illinois Public Act 104-0458.
And is there a motion to approve in a second, and then we'll go into discussion? First by Weber, second by Marion, and then we'll go into discussion. And then do you have a, or do you want him to explain it first, and then you have a question? All right.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, if you follow along in your packet, you'll, because it's several pages long, anything in green is being added to our ordinance, anything in red is being stricken from the ordinance. This is facilitated back in November. The state legislators passed Public Act 104-0458 that further refines the county's role when it comes to commercial solar and wind energy and battery storage facilities. The first page, I don't know if you want me to go through all of these, but is definitions. They further defined what these facilities are and how they operate. So that's page 1, and page 2 is that.
And this passed through ZBA and
ZBA
PZA,
recommended 5-0, and Planning and Zoning concurred.
Okay.
Okay.
There was one no vote, which was John Featherling.
That is correct. Okay. So when it comes to the solar and wind, there was not a lot of changes. We already, back in 2023 with the Future Energy Job Act, the state had already removed zoning authority from the county. This does not change that at all. So that's already been done. So not making these changes would have no effect on that. We've added energy storage systems as a permitted use, and we further clarified lot width of 330 feet in the agricultural district. Under, this is a big one, single family residential district. The statute requires us to allow these facilities anywhere that we allow agriculture or industrial. Our current ordinance allows agriculture on 20-acre lots in the residential district. So we are removing agriculture from the residential district.
Therefore, and that's in order to protect the residential.
Exactly. So, and by default, that would also be removing commercial wind and solar facilities from the residential district.
Okay.
So they'll have to go to the A1 district or industrial district. So we're doing that. In the light industrial and I2 industrial districts, we're adding energy storage systems. That's the big one with this particular legislation, as it's putting energy storage systems on the same path as solar and wind. We will not be able to have any zoning authority over them. So section 121-281, this is for residential purposes. People who want ground-mounted solar panels at their homes, we are requiring them to be in the rear yard. We've had a few that want to put them in their front yard, and that's not appropriate, so we're clarifying that. The next page, removing the consultation with the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. They removed it from the state statute, so we're removing it from our ordinance as well. On the next page, we're requiring a farmland drainage plan, and the specifics of it are listed here. That's also added from the state statute. So each facility owner will have to give us a farmland drainage plan for that particular site. Next page, we clarify, because there was a lot of back and forth on this, what the county's permits and fees will be. Okay. And that was all for wind. Solar does the same thing. Removes the U.S. Fish and Wildlife requirement, adds a farmland drainage plan, clarifies the ag impact mitigation agreement some. Okay. Also does setbacks of 50 feet from the nearest edge of any public roadway, and that is for any part of the facility, including excluding the fence, but includes interconnect poles and transmission lines. We have had some facilities out there that have been putting those poles pretty close to the road. This clarifies that they'll have to be 50 feet back, just like everything else. And there's some vegetative screening. The statute did actually reduce the amount of vegetative screening. We can only require it where there's an actual house. Before, we were requiring it along every roadway. This reduces it down to if there's a house, they have to screen. Okay? And we again clarify the permits and fees for the solar farms. Then the last part of it, and this is all entirely new, is the siting and the requirements for battery energy storage systems as a standalone unit. I don't know if you want me to go through the entire thing, but it follows the NFPA regulations, not the building codes. There's a separate decommissioning plan model that has to be used for these. Setbacks, 150 feet from the nearest point on the outside wall of a dwelling on a non-participating property. That right there was the reason we removed agriculture from the residential district. Okay.
Is there any questions for Delbert? Mr. Featherling?
Sorry for the delay, Bill, but we approved a bunch of solar farms couple 2-3 years ago, right? Some of them are 3-4 years old, and I wasn't aware of any batteries being placed next to people's houses and churches and stuff that we're gonna. Now you can go out and stop one anywhere you want it. A battery pack.
We don't have any that have battery storage with them.
Not yet.
Currently.
Yeah. But you know that's coming, right?
If they would like to add them in the future, they would need to follow these guidelines.
But they don't have to come back and ask any of the neighbors. They just drop it in with a helicopter or whatever they want to do.
They
right?
don't have to ask them now. The public hearing for solar, wind, or battery
it's all gone.
Storage has already been removed.
Okay.
There is none.
And you talked about the fees.
Yes.
Let's talk about the fees.
Okay.
A couple of questions. It came up at PZA. That's why I liked to. It was kind of a different thing there at PZA that day. Well, if you take a 40-acre solar farm, that's what are they mostly 40, 60?
They're running about 40 acres now. Yeah, 5 megawatt, 40 acres.
What would your permit fee be today?
Well, our fee, we use our non-residential commercial fee, so it's based on the value of the project. I can tell you they've been running about $25,000 to $35,000 per site for the building permit fee. That has been inching upward though as the cost of things have been going up.
Okay, and then when you get into the larger ones that are, scattered all over and taking up a lot of area.
Well, we don't have one of those yet, so.
Yeah, but we're getting there. Okay, so, and also, I'd like to see it go back. I'd like to see it go back to PZA before we vote on it. I know you're gonna tell me it's not the right thing to do, blah, blah, blah.
It already passed through PZA, so we're here.
I want to make a.
What purpose, I guess.
I'd like to make a motion we send it back to PZA for discussion.
Further investigation or further discussion, the proper motion would be to send it back to zoning board, because that's where that is done, is at the public hearing. I can't see a benefit of sending it back to PZA at all.
Yeah.
PZA would see it again after zoning board. But that would only be if the county board felt that this was not thoroughly enough discussed.
And the zoning board already passed it 5-0, and I will put that out there.
I would not anticipate a different outcome from zoning board.
Okay.
So you're saying that if it was sent back and they gave the same answer, it would end up in front of us again next month as the same result?
Actually, it would probably be in June, because we are running out of time to get it on the May agenda. Keeping in mind too, the state legislation requires us to have this in place by June 1st.
Okay. So, Mr. Searise?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Skimmerhorn, I only have a few questions. And I missed it at the beginning of your presentation. You said this was passed by the Illinois Assembly when, in November, you said?
In November, signed by the governor somewhere early January.
What hour of the day was it passed?
I have.
Was it one of these middle of the night things, or was it
I do not believe
during
so.
Regular business hours? 'Cause sometimes
I don't know when it was
sometimes
passed.
they try to slide this stuff in.
I don't know that exactly, but I did remotely attend many of the discussions on it. This was not, it did come up fairly quick. It had only been presented in like September, so there wasn't a lot of months on that, but there was plenty of discussion.
Okay, now my second question, it's a logical question. Why would you take Fish and Wildlife out of the equation?
Well, I didn't.
No, I know, but I'm asking your opinion on why would you take Fish and Wildlife out of the equation?
I believe that that was between the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and Fish and Wildlife determining that they didn't want to do that anymore. That's my opinion on it.
Or there
Because
could be
one thing is
issues.
the state, no, I don't think it has anything to do with issues. I think it has to do with the state made that part of the law without consulting Fish and Wildlife, and now Fish and Wildlife has a lot of extra work to do, and they probably weren't happy with it. That would be my guess.
Okay. That's a
Because
good guess, but I have a
the consultations come back, and there's a lot of environmental review regardless of Fish and Wildlife on these. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Hess, and then we'll go back for a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is to Mr. Rowe. Jim, do we need to pass this to come in compliance with the state law? Is what my question is.
Yeah, I'm never going to tell the board how to vote, but I will tell you, and what I believe it says, in fact, in this resolution, is that the state legislature and the governor have left you with two very bad options. You can pass a really crappy resolution, or you can not pass it and be in a worse position. Because if you don't pass this, then Dell will have no ability to regulate any of this.
Correct.
You know, I understand why people are pissed, right? Here's the state once again, and it's not, and it's in addition to the governor, it's your state legislators, every one of them that voted for this. They took all the authority away from our local community. They took the authority away from you. They took the authority away from the people of the county to have a say in your comprehensive plan, how that comprehensive plan is executed, how your community is developed, where this stuff goes. They took it away from you. But it's not this county board's fault. It's not the 28 people's fault in this room. This is being imposed upon you just like it's being imposed on the community. And if you vote no, you will have less say than this law even allows. So it's a really horrible position for this county board to be in, and your state legislators that voted for it and your governor put you in this boat.
Follow up. If we do not pass this, does that put us liable if something would happen?
I don't know that it puts you liable if something would happen, but it certainly, if Dell got a permit or an application, or if someone wanted the site here and he tried to block it, it would certainly subject the county to litigation. But again, litigation is the least of your worries. If you vote no on this, this county won't have any ability to regulate that.
Thank you.
Mr. Featherling?
A no vote would take away all of the county's powers, which this bill leaves very few to begin with, I suppose.
Don't we have control over it right now? According to the ordinance, didn't you adjust it, I don't know, when it first happened?
We last adjusted the ordinance in 2023 to bring it compliant with the legislation at that time.
Right.
So
if you leave that in place, then your county ordinance is in violation of state law. So you would not be able to enforce the county
After June
ordinance.
1st.
Correct.
After June 1st.
Correct.
That's my issue. ZBA heard it, and nobody probably, the ZBA gets notified in the paper and everything, but you know, people don't see it. In a public comment situation, nobody got a chance to even know anything about it, to even say anything about it here in Manteno or Kankakee County. I mean, Dell had it on his agenda, he posted it right, everything was done according to the book, because he does it all according to the book. And I don't know, it's not gonna, I don't know. Just seems like that if we stay with what we have now, if the new governor gets not elected and somebody else gets in there, maybe they might want to change it back, and we just got to change it back.
we would change it again.
And you know, John, what's worse is that not only the people in Manteno didn't have the ability to comment on it, perhaps, but none of us did, right? Statewide, nobody in the state of Illinois really got to put a voice on this legislation, other than the legislators who supported it for whatever reason, and the governor to take local control away from local communities. You know, the way to handle that though is through voting. Vote.
vote.
You know, if you don't like these laws being imposed upon our county, yeah, elections have consequences. If you don't like these laws being imposed on our community, then get out there and vote. You know, 99% of the people voting for these crap bills are reelected every time.
Yeah.
Start to look at who voted for these type of bills and vote them out.
Yeah.
Mr. Searise.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. My last time, and this is from a passionate Mr. Rowe, for a passionate Mr. Rowe. Isn't another way to challenge some of these unruly actions by the legislature is to challenge them in the court system?
I believe this is the one that went up, if I'm not mistaken, through the 3rd District Appellate Court, which I believe was an adverse ruling for our position. I can verify that, but that certainly is one way to do it. But not passing this right now puts the county in the position where you would have no authority, again, to regulate anything. It's a terrible position to be in, but
it is. But I mean, with us not passing, would draw more attention to it than rather just say, "Oh, okay, I'm going to vote no."
And you know me, I'm all for suing the state of Illinois.
I know you are. That's why I asked your opinion.
I see John back there cringing. But that attention would come at a significant cost in this instance.
I think there's been enough discussion. We have a motion and a second on the floor, so I think it would be wise just to do a roll call on this versus say that a motion and a second to approve or accept. So nothing else. So let's do roll call just so everyone's vote is on the record.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Dr. Polk.
Nay.
That was a nay?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Seroy.
Nay.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Nay.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Nay.
Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Omentz. Mr. Crutcher. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Tayden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion carries. Next up, we have the Kankakee County zoning map amendments. Can I have a motion to approve in second, and then I'll have Del go into the explanation. First by Featherling. Second by Lowy. Delbert.
All right. Each year we ask the county board to readopt our zoning map that reflects all of the changes that they previously approved throughout the year before. Joanne? So in 2025, we had 13 farmstead exemptions added to the map, 9 zoning cases, 7 of which were rezonings, A1 to A2, A1 to I1 for a self-storage facility, 4 A1 to rural estate, and 1 R1 to C2, which was the Bon Vivant facility, which just recently got annexed to the village of Bourbonnais out of our jurisdiction. And we issued 2 variances for lot widths. If you come up, and there's what the map looks like. You can see it on the GIS far better than you can see here, but I always put a PDF of it up there. So,
is there any questions for Delbert on this? We do this every year. So we have a motion and a second, and then we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. I'll have you read the next one into the record.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, authorizing the County Board Chairman to sign an amendment to the grant number LI 22004 agreement between the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and the County of Kankakee.
And then can I have a motion to approve in a second? First by Hunter, second by Dunnell. I'll let Ben take over now. Mic is on.
All right.
There you go.
So this is the hovercraft for Limestone Township Fire Protection District. From a procedural standpoint, talked with Terry in the State's Attorney's Office. We felt it best to allow the chairman to, well, really allow me to file the paperwork to modify this grant. We're asking for a not to exceed for $65,000. We're then going to use Sourcewell, which is where we source most of our equipment through the highway department, to use them for our competitive bidding process. If we cannot find it there, we'll bring back action from this body to go through the process to secure it for a non-sole source purchase. But this allows us to get the paperwork aligned with DNR first, and we felt procedurally this was the best step.
And we have already given a hovercraft to Aroma Park, and this one's for Limestone, upstream, downstream. This is one of Pat Joyce's requests, so that's why this is here.
That's the same exact deal, right? Between the two?
So I think there's a different model.
Yeah, they discontinued the Coastal Pro 2, and now it's called as something else. But yeah, we're looking to get a HoverStream product that's nearly identical, if not
easy
just a different name.
out,
Yes,
right?
very, very light, easy to deploy. We talked a little bit about this at the Waterways Subcommittee. Rapid deployment. This is about rescuing people from the river, getting quickly. And this is not a drag boat that has a very different purpose.
Yeah. Thanks.
Mr. Hunt.
Check it out.
I would believe so. I think that I've been talking with probably Mr. Long, but on deployment day, I'm sure they'd be very happy to show it off.
Take you for a ride?
Yes. So we have a motion and a second on that one, and we need a roll call vote.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Dr. Polk. Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Parker. Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Mr. Crutcher. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll have you read the next one in the record, Dan.
Resolution authorizing execution and amendment of section 5311 of grant agreement fiscal year 2027.
Then can I have a motion to approve that as well? First by Dunnell, second by Long, and then I'll have Ben give a brief explanation.
So this is rural transit within Kankakee County through our vendor Showbus. This and the next three actions that you will take are allowing us to apply for a grant. And we do this in a giant package. So we do 5311, which is a federal funding. We do downstate operating assistance. And in order to do those two things, we have to execute a purchase of services agreement with Showbus. And then every third year, we lease our vehicles to them for $1. So that's kind of all outlined here. This allows the chairman to execute and amend. So if at any point during the year we need to make a minor amendment to the document, it allows us to sign the paperwork. So we don't have to continue to bring it back. This is since the 80s running on transit, so we're just back again for our annual re-ask. Not anything's dramatically changed. It's about $1.2 million in total between it's 5311's 192,536, downstate's 802,963 for a total of 1.279 million. So this, we spend about 700,000 on transit annually, so this is plenty enough funds for us to operate. I will say we had an assurity from the state. They did reallocate our funds in this programming. If we need more transit dollars, we can get more transit dollars.
Any questions for Ben on this? All right, we have a motion to approve, so when we have a second, so let's do a roll call on this.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Dr. Polk.
I will for the next one.
Mr. Seroy. Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Parker. Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter.
Great explanation.
Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Mr. Crutcher. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. And then I'm going to have you read the next two into the record, and we'll just do a motion to combine and approve. I should have done that the previous time, but they're all in conjunction with each other.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, authorizing execution and amendment of downstate operating assistance grant agreement for fiscal year 2027 and purchase of service agreement with Showbus to operate the county's rural general public transportation service state fiscal year 2027.
The three, so I apologize, the last one as well.
And motor vehicle lease with Showbus to provide transportation for Kankakee County.
And then can I have a motion to combine and approve? First by Hunter, second by Llewellyn. You gave the explanation already, so any
happy to answer questions
for Ben? All right, we'll do a roll call vote.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Dr. Polk.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Parker. Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Dunhill. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Mr. Crutcher. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. We move on to executive committee. If you'd like to read that in the record as well, Dan.
Resolution on the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, authorizing the County Board Chairman to sign the road use and buyout agreement between the County of Kankakee and Illinois General LLC related to the proposed wind energy generating facility in Essex, Norton, Pilot, and Limestone Townships.
And Greg is making his way up, so can I have a motion to approve in a second? First by Weber, second by Hess, and then Greg. Floor is yours. And then there could be any discussion.
All right, I'm going to tell I was going to say a little story, but this is a pretty long story. I started back in 2022, and this Heritage Prairie wind farm, solar farm, actually came to us later in 2022, so we've been dealing with that since then. One of the first things we do as part of this is we appoint a special counsel to help us with negotiating for the road use agreement or improvements to our roadways. So we did that back in December. The board approved that December of 2022. Later on, the next year, we approved the use of a consultant engineer to check out the developer's plans, roadway improvements. So they batted for us, and believe me, there was a lot of back and forth revisions. We started out, the developer wanted to improve the roads. We decided we'd rather have control of that process, so instead we're leaning towards the buyout agreement where we can monitor our work better than someone else's work. We would be in control of any contracts if roads need improving, which we assume they will. That's why we have a road use agreement and a buyout. So that's how we got to where we are now. This is a road use and buyout agreement.
And explain the amount.
And I've got all the parts, come pretty much three components of the buyout agreement. One of it is of the roads they're planning on using, county roads. They've, I don't know if you can follow along. This is a 80-page document, but depending on the type of road, say if it was a tar and chip, we received $925,000 per mile, assuming we're going to have to redo that road in the future. That's times the number of miles we have that they're going to use. Different type of road, we have asphalt roadways. Requires, it's probably not going to damage it as much. It still is going to do some harm. So we're receiving $550,000 per mile for those roads. And outside of the Lehigh Quarry, we can't attribute all the traffic there to the wind farm because the quarry is sending out stone all day long. So, but their share of it, we've come to an agreement on $300,000 per mile times the number of miles there, which is a 4-mile stretch. All told, there's 14.75 miles of county roads that are gonna, we need to be covered for. If and when the day comes, we need to improve them, which we expect that to happen. Add up all the dollars per mile times the miles, and we come up with a pay of the buyout payment of $8,143,750. But wait, there's more. That's just step one of three. The second part of the buyout agreement is a permit fee for each one of the turbines we have in the county. We have 69 of them. They're proposing to pay us $15,000 per turbine. Times 69 equals $1,035,000. And if you can bear with me, I'll read just what that permit fee entails. I think you'd rather hear it. I'm not going to paraphrase. I'm going to read it word for word. This fee shall be deemed to provide permission for core sampling and surveying of road authority roads, travel upon the local roads as designated by the project traffic map by developer and its parties, use and alteration of the local roads and right-of-ways for installation of the project's transmission, communication, and collection system cables and crossings, timely issuance of required permits for overweight, oversized, and overwidth vehicles related to project construction, access entrance permits. Each one of those 69 turbines is going to provide have an access to one of our roads, and all other permits under road authority jurisdiction required to complete developer's work as contemplated by this agreement. The parties further agree the permit fee compensates the road authority for time spent on this project, and there was a lot of time. At one point, we called it pain and suffering because we were dealing with these guys on a daily basis. By the road authority prior and subsequent to the execution of this agreement, and to ensure that the road authority's taxpayers do not bear any financial burden as a result of the construction of this project. The permit fee shall be made payable to the road authority and shall be deposited into our road use agreement fund or other applicable fund as directed by the road authority. The permit fee is non-refundable. So that's part 2 of the road use agreement and buyout agreement. Part 3. This project is intended to service life of 30 years. Well, we have a annual administrative fee, which helps cover the repairs ongoing throughout the project. Time these 14.75 miles, they're proposing to pay us $5,000 per mile per year, times 30 years. Inflation, they've increased, these numbers are set to increase by 2.5% every year for the life of the 30-year project. Add that all up, 14.75 miles times $5,000 a mile plus a bunch of iterations for interest rates, but that comes out to 3.237824. So $3,237,824 over the life of the agreement that would go to the highway department. Add up the 3 numbers to 8 million, 1 million, and 3.2, and a grand total of $12,416,574 would be the grand total due us under this agreement, which I feel is fair considering what's going to be done to the roads, and it will cover. We came up with an estimate for these improvements, and believe me, we used worst case scenario. We don't want to come up short. So that's how we came up with 925,000 mile. That's just not cement stabilizing the road. That's if culverts go bad. Every scenario you can imagine, we included that in that price.
And thank you for that detailed explanation. I will say that Greg has been spot on with the third-party reviewer and the communication, and this is to protect our roadways. So I just kind of want to get away from the wind and solar. That's, like we already talked about today, that's more of a state issue at this point, but this amount of money is to protect our roadways. So I want everyone to understand that portion of it, and I think you did a very good job of explaining that. So is there any questions for Greg on that? Mr. Featherland?
I'd like to compliment him too. It's a good job putting that together for us, Greg. And if anybody had any more questions, we certainly can answer them here, right?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, fire away. So Mr. Searoyce?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think everybody understands my thoughts and feelings on green energy. It's a large sum of money that they're willing to pay to put up their product. Where are they recouping their money? Oh yeah, they sell electricity. I got it. So we're ultimately going to put that back on consumers for the sale of electricity so they can pay us $12.5 million. So I just don't like all these green energy deals, but nobody's electricity bill goes down. And I think that was the sell at the very first part when I was on this board. Oh, we'll be able to, it'll be more affordable for the consumer. And it's not. And then now they've realized that. And so the legislator takes that away from us. Because, hey, wait a minute now, we've already got the wool over their eyes. Now we got to take a little bit of their power away. That's my thoughts. So I'm sorry to state it like this, and I understand it's for our local roads. I just don't like the concept. It's not fair. Last. That's it.
Mr. Featherling with the second.
No, how?
You're good.
We have a second, Todd's?
No. Second time. You're
second time for me?
mic.
Okay,
Yes.
Todd, second time or only second time?
Todd's
for me?
done.
Okay. How much damage has been done in the past? I mean, I've been around, my niece's husband's a Rockville guy, township guy, and I've gone by and seen what he says what's been done out there when they build those places. You know, they knock them down. They smash the gutter pipes around the wide turns, and they knock down stop signs and everything else with those long trucks.
And I think what Greg was
And he's got it covered for us.
Yes,
that's what
I was going to interject.
And I want to
and
thank
say.
you for covering the butts of the Kankakee County people. Okay.
Like he said, it was worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
there's a motion and a second. If there's no more discussion, we'll do a roll call.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Nay.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Nay.
Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter.
Aye.
Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Mr. Crutcher. Gone. Dr. Nims. Nay. Aye. Sorry. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll have you read the next one in the record as well.
Resolution authorizing the county board chairman to sign a jurisdictional transfer agreement for East 12,000 North Road, County Highway 16, to Will County by Kankakee County under the Illinois Highway Code.
Do you have something, Craig?
It's 12,000 North Road, right?
12,000 North Road?
Yes.
Where's
County
it?
line. North.
North Road. Okay. Yeah, that's what it says.
It says East 12,000 North Road.
Okay, so we're good. We need a motion and a second on that one. First by Marion, second by Featherling, and I'll have you give an explanation. This is a good one.
Okay, this is a shorter one, hopefully than the last one. As right now, County Line Road is under this jurisdiction in different locations of Will County Highway Department, Kankakee County Highway Department. We have 4.27 miles. Will County has the rest. What this jurisdictional transfer will do will give that 4.27 miles to Will County, which means anything involving County Line Road will not be our issue anymore. Soon as the IDOT signs the form and says it's good, it won't be our road. Part of that jurisdictional transfer, though, is the payment we need to make to Will County to make them whole, because we just don't give them something, they're gonna have to maintain it. So we, as part of that section, we have 2 bridges that we were gonna design and rebuild. We will not have to do that. In turn, like all they asked was that we front them the money to build the bridges. They won't ask for anything to improve the roadway, because right now, I think their plan was 12-foot lanes and 8-foot shoulders, which is a lot better than they've got out there right now. They are doing a phase 1 study, probably starting next week, encompassing the whole section of County Line Road from Route 50 all the way to Indiana. And it would make their life easier if they had the whole stretch, and that's kind of why they came to me in the first place. They would rather do it all themselves, and I don't argue with that.
So what you're saying is we get rid of 2 bridges and we don't have to maintain or
4.27 miles of roadway. We don't have to plow. We'll take down our county route sign and we're done. we never show up out there again. And given some of the accidents out there on Route 50 and Route 1, actually, this piece of roadway touches Route 50. We won't be involved with the work that's going to go on at that intersection. And public relations wise, that'll be Will County's issue with IDOT. We'll be out of that.
And this comes out of our bridge fund, correct?
Correct.
Which would have been for designing those two.
Right. Designing
bridges.
and building, 1.84 million, which is about the going rate for those two bridges. They throw into design, and considering we're not paying anything for roadway, I think it's a good deal.
Does anyone have any questions for that? We have a motion and a second. Question by NIMS.
Just so I'm clear, the only thing that we're giving them is to fix the bridges. That's our cost for this transfer. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, we're paying them for the cost for them to rebuild the bridges, only to the size that we would have built them ourselves. We were gonna have a 30-foot wide bridge, 11-foot lanes with 4-foot shoulders. They wanna go bigger, but they're not hitting us up for the bigger amount. They're hitting us up for what we would have paid for the two bridges.
And then in the future also, say it has to be rebuilt in however many years, that's not our problem anymore.
Okay.
So,
Just wanted to know, yeah, that was the only
that was a
cost.
great
Yeah.
question. Carol?
Thank you. I just wonder what is that amount? Is it 1.3 or 1.8?
1.84, and it's to be paid in 4 annual payments, 460,000. Our bridge fund, which isn't going to kill us, and they've agreed to that already. So
the 1.3 for Grasso Toby is their bid, but you're adding some money to that.
that's the next subject down. That the next topic.
Any more questions? All right, we'll do a roll call vote. We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments.
Aye.
Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. Dan, I'll have you read the next one on the record as well.
Approval of award of bids for public highway improvements.
And then could I have a motion to approve in a second for that? First by Dunnell, second by Featherling, and then we'll have some discussion on that.
Just wanted to let everyone know that the winning bid amounts were both under engineer's estimate. The county work from Grasso was 2.36% under, and the hauling from Toby's construction was 1.4% under the engineer's estimate. So just wanted to let you know.
Is there any questions for Greg on that one? All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. Then we'll move on to the Finance Committee. I'll have you read that next one into the record.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, authorizing the County Board Chairman to sign an intergovernmental agreement for funding the Kankakee County Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Say that. What? Oh, okay. Okay. So can I have a motion to approve in a second for that? First by Llewellyn, second by Weber. In a little background on this, this is kind of what Angelina talked about. This is a 3-year term. The first year is $70,000, and then there's a 3% escalator for the next 2 years. So it's from 2026 to 2029. I just want everyone to be aware of the dollar amount. They're good for this community. They promote tourism. You don't always see them in town here because they're out promoting outside of Kankakee County, and I think she's done a good job of articulating that to us. It's good for our community. I believe the city of Kankakee has already passed it. We're passing it, and then I believe the only ones left are Bourbonnais and Manteno, correct? All right, I'm getting the head nod back there. So, is there any questions, discussion on that? Carol?
Thank you. Just a reminder how many hotels there are.
So, in our county, there's one.
Okay.
So, any questions on that? All right, roll call vote.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Dunnell. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments.
Aye.
Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner.
Aye.
Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit.
Aye.
Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. All right, motion carries. If I could have you read the next one into the record.
Ordinance of the Kankakee County Board, amendments to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Kankakee County 2024-2025 fiscal year.
And then can I have a motion to approve in a second on that? And Steve is back there for any questions. First by Dunnell. Second by Denise Turner. Any discussion, questions for Steve? Do you want to give a brief overview on it? Sorry, might as well.
No.
I don't want to slow you guys down. Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We're just moving internally between contingency and utilities out to other areas, grants that needed attention from a budget standpoint. So it's more internal adjustments than SKDO. In the past, we have not done a resolution for this. SKDO asked us to do one this year to recognize this movement.
Okay. Any questions for Steve? All right, roll call.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
I have a question real quick.
Okay, Steve, he
okay.
has a question.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Featherling.
Just one stupid question here.
No question, stupid.
Well, aren't we kind of voting on the rest of the items at the same time? Because aren't those budget items that would be Kankakee County Clerk, Treasurer, Sheriff?
No, that is separate. All are
But isn't
separate
that
items.
Budget?
Separate items.
Separate, okay.
Only the bowl.
Only
Yep.
okay.
No, it's everything. Sorry.
Okay.
We're moving from the
Oh,
bold.
you're talking. Okay.
We're moving from the bold out to everybody else. So the bold is where it's coming from.
We're not.
Everybody else is-
I think what his question is we're not voting on the agenda items below. That agenda item is not including the
The below
salaries.
agenda items are setting the salary.
Correct.
For the countywide elected official.
I think
not
that's
included in this.
no.
budget.
No. Okay.
Well, Ro, could you repeat that again, please?
The next five items are setting salaries for
Yes.
countywide electeds and per diems for county board
Yes.
members. Those increases, if they're approved or not, are not included in this budget. amendment.
Amen. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes. So if there's no other questions, we're gonna do a roll call.
Mr.
No other
Feather-
questions? Perfect.
Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Dunnell. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy.
Aye.
Ms. Turner from Moments. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Next one, I'll have you read the next one into the record.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, setting the salary for the Kankakee County Clerk.
And then I'll have you read the second one into the record as well.
Resolution of the County Board, setting the salary for the Kankakee County Treasurer.
And then I'll ask for a motion to combine and approve the first two, and then the rest we will do separately. First by Weber, second by Taden. And is there any discussion on that? I'll have Anita come to the front and kind of explain the process.
So we're gonna vote, John, we're gonna vote treasurer and clerk separate.
Anita?
So I guess, want to touch on the process that we go through in looking at the salaries. I use, I put together an analysis, and I believe you have an overview spreadsheet there. I use the UCCI, which is the United Counties Council of Illinois, which is a statewide agency. They do a salary survey every year, which we participate in. So we tell them what the salaries of our employees are, and because of that, we receive a, book about this thick with salaries throughout the county. That's really my main data source of where I get to comps for our positions, so that I'm looking at county clerks and county treasurers across the state and compare that to what we're paying to ensure that we are at a market rate. Then I also take into account, in my discussion, I typically take that to the chairman. Since I've been here 8 years, that's been my process, is to give that data to the chairman along with what our union negotiations and those increases, what the increases typically are for our non-union employees, so that we're looking across the board what we're increasing our employees. Based on those two data points, what was recommended was a 5.3% increase in year 1 to these two positions, and then 3% per year the next 3 years. For elected officials, state law requires us to set the salary 180 days before the start of their term for the term. So it's a 4-year resolution, and the resolution is in your packet as well. It's on that sheet what each year would be, what the increase is in dollar amounts, and you'll see the amounts there.
Is there any questions for Anita on that?
Yeah, I have a couple
Mr. Hunter,
comments. Thank
your
you very
mic's
much,
somehow
Mr. Chairman.
on. I didn't even turn it on.
Yeah, thank you very much. The comparables that you have cited here, starting at Whiteside going down to Will, is that what you utilize?
Well,
Yes or
right.
no?
Yeah, we look at
Okay.
all of them.
Yeah, that-
Actually, we look at all, on the last page, there's everyone. That's the information that I give the chairperson.
Okay. How many counties are there in the state of Illinois?
102.
Okay. And you utilize how many out of the 102?
Well, as you can see, here's the list here. I don't know what there are.
Okay.
We use it as a general rule.
Okay. But what my question is, you utilize these, but there are 102 counties in the state of Illinois. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been here. I wasn't here in 2004, and I'd heard some information regarding the comparability, the parity, going back to 2004. And since 2004, things have gone up and down. Some things have stayed the same. I was talking to one of the the county-wide officials who holds that particular position. I know before that person was elected, the recorder's office and the auditor's office were at the bottom of the totem pole in terms of salaries, the black and the female. My concern is that I take a look at empirical data. You've chosen to take a look at some information and not macro. As you look on this document here that was placed at our desk when we first came in, there are 9 counties here. And however, there are 102 counties in the state of Illinois, and she said she referenced the ones on the back as well too, but that's not 102. All I'm saying to you guys is that you need to take a look at the offices as opposed to the individuals. These individuals, the sheriff and the auditor and all these different people, the treasurer, and the county clerk, those particular positions are elected by the registered voters out of 107,000 people in the county. We as county board members represent 28 separate districts, and we're elected by those people in our respective districts. evidently, these individuals who are up for salaries have been mandated by the registered voters in Kankakee County to remain in office and to be provided with the requisite compensation therein. I'm just saying to you that I think that the parity is lacking with respect to the county clerk's office and the treasurer's office, and I've articulated that. I know some of you have been lobbied to affirm this, which has been provided to us. I'm not going to vote for the compensation package that's identified for the treasurer and the county clerk's office, because I don't think there's parity there. And I understand some of the positions. I understand why, you know, the salaries are set at the rate that it is. You know, for example, let me just articulate this, and I'm not going to belabor this point. I know you guys have been here since 9 o'clock, and you're earning your paltry per diem today. Good government at work. You know, for example, I talk with the sheriff's office, and I talk to all the different offices all the time about the inner workings, what they do, how I can benefit my constituents. I know what the sheriff does with respect to incorporating prisoners from Champaign County, Cook County, and any place else where he can find prisoners that will go into Jerome Combs as well as jail downtowns. I understand that. I understand what they do. I understand my questions to them, the requests that I pose to them, and they're very amenable to taking care of some of those things that I pose. And that goes to the other officers or individuals who are elected by the 106,000 registered voters, or those who are registered therein. So all I'm saying to you is that I think we need to take a look at revisiting the county clerk's compensation as well as the treasurer. I'm just saying to you, for example, the county clerk's office, from the womb to the tomb, that office impacts all of our people who die, who are born here in this county. You know, rhetorically, I asked the county treasurer at the last meeting, I think it was, some things that he was doing, or the office was doing, in terms of enhancing our revenue, which helps the bottom line for the county. He articulated what he had been able to do, which brought additional revenue into the county coffers. And I appreciated that. You know, some of those things need to be addressed, some need to be identified and appreciated. Take a look at the offices, not the individuals.
Thank you, Steve. Is there any other questions, discussion on that, Mr. Featherland?
Yeah, I'd like to, we already got a motion and a second on that, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I wanted to check with you on. I always kind of thought that our clerk, how can you compare what our clerk does to what another clerk does? I see what our clerk does. And I go vote, and I see how organized everything is, and I see the people getting educated and learning all about their stuff, and I don't know if there's anybody around that can compare with him, that's for sure. He takes care of everything and makes sure everything gets done right, and never hear anything. It's good all the time. Same thing with the treasurer. You know, he came in with some investment ideas for us, like he said there, the salary, you know, setting the salary for the treasurer needs to be, I'd like to see both those items looked at a little more, because I don't think 2 counties or 7 counties or whatever you used isn't enough out of 110. 102, sorry.
Any
average across the board would be down the line, but some counties only have 5 people working in the clerk's office, and how many you got, Dan? So it's a big difference with managing 5 people compared to managing 20 people or 15 people or 100 people on election day.
Would you feel better with the average of all of these counties? All of these counties on the sheet?
Well,
we should take the average of all these counties, because
some of them are lower, yeah,
right.
A lot lower, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
When you take an average, that's what you end up with.
Yeah, but
and that is actually a lower number.
If you had similar,
I didn't put that on
Yeah.
because it's a lower number.
if we had similar population counties, 110, 120,000 people, then we'd have a better idea of what we're looking at as far as election days and everything else that goes.
If you check on the second page and on the first page, you'll see 103 from Macon County, 107 through Kankakee, 109 through LaSalle. Those are all the counties that are in population-wise comparable to
Yeah.
Kankakee.
Close to our area.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you look at salaries, and they're highlighted. Did you get one of these?
Sure.
Okay, so then you'll see in Macon County.
It isn't highlighted on the internet though.
What's that? I understand that, but if you have the paperwork in front of you, then, correct, then you would see the averages of high, low, middle, where they're at. And I think that's why Anita puts out this paperwork for us to all to look at to get where we compare to other counties of our size. And I'm not taking anything away from our treasurer or our county clerk. I'm just pointing out that Anita's already done that for us. I was wrong. Understand.
Sorry.
Is there anything else?
Don't get interrupted when I'm making a comment.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Featherling?
No.
Is there anyone for a first time before we go for a second time with Hunter? All right, Mr. Hunter.
Yeah, what's before us now? I mean, what I said was the other things I'm going to concur with, but the county clerk and the treasurers, I'm not going to support that, and I think it necessitates more massaging. I take a look. I mean, it's good to look at the bean counter numbers that are being provided, but you got to take a look at the offices in terms of Kankakee County. The county clerk's office and the treasurer's office, by far, if you want to do some comparison in terms of other counties, that's fine. That's just a snapshot. But I know some of you guys just come here and just vote. But you got to interface with these people. You got to interface with those offices and understand the professionalism, how they're run. So, for you to tell me something about these other places, I put our offices up against many of the other ones, downstate, the region, et cetera. And that's why I'm saying the compensation packages you have for the treasurer and the county clerk should be bumped for pragmatic reasons, empirical reasons as well too. Not just looking at these numbers here that you're being shown. I don't want to hear this stuff about a precedent being established, because that opens a can of worms too. If you take a look at non-elected officials in terms of those people, the treasurer, the sheriff, and all those other people, take a look at other people and the kind of bumps they got. Take a look at that. So don't give me this hogwash about precedent being established. That's why this county board has certain people who sit down and do the negotiations. That stuff's done with organized labor. So don't give me this stuff about if you give so-and-so 8%, well, that means organized labor's got to have it. That's not true. That stuff is negotiated in good faith.
Ms. Weber,
Please call for the question.
please call for the question. All right.
And the motion is what?
Motion to approve, combine and approve the county clerk and the treasurer. Call it to the question, so we go straight to roll call. Is that correct? I want to make correct. That's what Terry said. So call the question, roll call vote.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
No, these are these other than the county
Miss,
clerk and the treasurer.
she said we have to call the question.
I understand.
Miss-
But I
Miss-
just want clarification what we're voting on.
There was a combine and approve for the county clerk and the county treasurer.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Nay.
Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter.
No.
Ms. Foster.
No.
Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion.
Aye.
Mr. Lowy.
Aye.
Ms. Turner from Moments.
Aye.
Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner.
Aye.
Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Then we'll move on to the next one. I'll have you read that in the record as well, Dan.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, setting the salary for the Kankakee County Sheriff.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve that? First by Hunter, second by Dunnell, and then I'll have you give a brief explanation, and then we'll continue on.
The sheriff's salary is set by statute as a percentage of the state's attorney's salary. That is set by the state of Illinois July 1st of every year, so we don't have that number right now. That's why you'll see the resolution is simply states, refers to the state statute, and it affirms that that is set and that's what we will pay. Second of all, it is used. It's important to know that the state of Illinois reimburses Kankakee County for 2/3 of the salary of the sheriff's department. Each July, we must submit paperwork from our treasurer's office that includes a P-tax form and a copy of this resolution in order to receive reimbursement from the state of Illinois.
Any questions for Anita on that? All right, roll call vote.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling. Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll have you read the next one in the record.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois regarding setting the salary for the Kankakee County Board Chairman and Liquor Commissioner.
And I will make a motion to amend the resolution and for the 2 years take 0% for both years. So I will make the motion on that one.
Has that been cleared with council in terms of, excuse me, can you, has that been cleared?
Well, he's not really changing the agenda, right? He's amending the resolution.
It passed through finance, but this is
Amending the
amendment.
resolution,
Yes.
so there would be a vote to amend.
You ever hear that?
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you very much. Is there any discussion on that? Ms. Weber?
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm sorry, let's back up. So you made the motion.
Yes.
To amend. You seconded that motion.
Yes.
All right, so now there should be a voice vote. That's been-
Okay. Voice vote?
To approve the amendment.
Okay. Then we'll do a voice vote if no one else has anything else to say.
And then we'll vote on the amendment.
Okay, perfect. Voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. Okay. And then we'll vote on the amended resolution. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wording? And then a first and a second on that. First by Marion. Second by Seroy. And should we do a roll call or roll call on that?
You giving that money to the clerk and the treasurer?
Back to the citizens. Back to the citizens. Roll call vote.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll have you read the next one in the record.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, setting the per diem for county board members elected in odd-numbered districts and the vice chairperson.
And then is there a motion to approve and a second on that? First by Hunter. Second by Weber. Any discussion on that? So I'll give a brief explanation. Odd board members, I believe, right? Odd. Odd district. No, yes, odd district. Let me clarify that. Odd district is going from 75 to 85, and then everyone's on the same amount. Vice chair is going from 110 to 115. So I want to make sure we are clarified on that. Is there any questions? All right, roll call.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy,
Nay.
Mrs. Weber,
Aye.
Mrs. Parker, Mr. Carrico, Mr. Featherling, Mr. Donnell, Mr. Miller, Mr. Long, Mr. Hunter, Ms. Foster, Ms. Turner from Kankakee, Mr. Marion, Mr. Lowy, Ms. Turner from Moments, Dr. Nims, Mr. Kerner, Mr. Llewellyn,
He said nay.
nay?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Benoit, Mr. Taden, Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. Dan, I'll have you read the openings in the record.
One opening on the Farmland Assessment Review Committee, one opening on the Regional Planning Commission, 6 openings on the Board of Examiners and Appeals, one opening on the Historic Preservation Commission, one opening on the Board of Health, 3 openings on the, for a county board member, 3 openings on the Board of Health, one opening on the Convention and Visitors Bureau, one opening on the Kankakee River Valley Forest Preserve District, one opening on the University of Illinois Extension for a county board member, one opening on the BM Lewis Drainage District, one opening on the Clausen Park Drainage District, one opening on the Mantino Drainage District number 3, one opening on the Moments Yellowhead Drainage District number 1.
All right, that's it for openings. If you know anyone, please tell them to apply. If there's nothing under old business, we're going to move on to executive session. So anything for old business? All right, executive session. I'll have you read that in the record.
Executive session for pending litigation, 5 ILCS 120/2 C11.
And then can I have a motion to enter executive session? First by Carrico, second by Dunnell, and we'll do a roll call on that.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker. Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Donnell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Taden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. Everyone must exit the room besides Anita, Barav, and I believe you guys have to.
Yeah, our office was conflicted out of this litigation.
confidential settlement agreement.
All right, we are back. So we'll move on to new business. Will you read that in the record, Dan?
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois regarding the adoption of an updated financial policy and procedures manual.
And then can I have a motion to approve in a second? First by Dunnell, second by Long. We've already had our discussion, so we're gonna go to roll call. Roll call.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Parker. Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Dunhill. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Tayden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll have you read the next one on the record as well.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois, authorizing the chairman of Kankakee County Board to sign a settlement agreement.
Motion to approve in a second. First by Featherling, second from Denise Turner. We've discussed this in executive session, so we will do a roll call.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Seroy.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Dunhill. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Hunter. Ms. Foster. Ms. Turner from Kankakee. Mr. Marion. Mr. Lowy. Ms. Turner from Moments. Dr. Nims. Mr. Kerner. Mr. Llewellyn. Mr. Benoit. Mr. Tayden. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, Roger Hess.
Thank you, Chairman. Before I make a motion to adjourn, I just want to bring up that some of the people that didn't like to have these computers and everything brought in, today we had 339 pages, the minimum of 30 copies. That was 10,170 sheets of paper that we saved today.
Yes.
A tree and a half.
I appreciate
I make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn. Second by Featherling. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right. Motion